Come on. We will win. Because we will hit all game. We are motivated. We are dedicated. Come on now. Come on now. We will win. Because we are the best on the field. And we hit the field like all day light, all night light, on the blue light, offense light, defense light, his squad light, house call light, and it sound light, and it sound light, and it sound light. Looks right, throws it too high. Oh, it was called on the back end. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He called it in. ECU, the miracle win. In Lubbock tonight.
Goes for the end zone. The ball's in the air. It drops at the goal line. I think he counted for a touchdown. He got it. He got it. He got it. Touchdown, Nick Matthews. The Cougars win it. The Cougars win it. He gets in. He's got room to the right. Tucks. Throws anyway. In the end zone. It is caught. It's caught for a touchdown.
It's a good one. The set down. The kick is up. On the way. It is
He missed the catch. Do you believe this? With 1:11 to go, he missed the kick.
He is up, and the kick is no good. And the Cougars are going to win the football game. Donnell Barnes over on the far side. He's going to keep it himself. Cut back inside. Slams for the touchdown. And the
forever. I'ma do this here forever.
Welcome, everybody, to the Short Sports Show. I'm your host, Daniel Short. Today is a beautiful, beautiful January 11th day. If you have not heard the college football playoff preview that I just had, please go check it out. It is on there for you guys to listen to on Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, anywhere and everywhere. It is there. And I just want to open up, since this is the NFL preview. We are officially 1 year. Okay, that's actually a terrible intro. 1 year ago today, Des Bryant and the Dallas Cowboys were at Lambeau Field, and apparently he did not catch a ball. I disagree. I see otherwise. I believe he caught it, but that was 1 year ago today. Quick, see how quick time flies? It's crazy. When football season happens, time just goes by fast. But as soon as the offseason starts, as soon as the Super Bowl is over with, it is the slowest months of my life. Baseball, it lasts for about a month, and then I'm just done with it. It's just boring. Basketball, we have the playoffs. It's fun, but, bleh. Well, that usually happens when you're a Lakers fan and you're not winning. So, it's just a long hibernation. It's tough. But anyways, we're going to talk about some NFL news as well as recap some of these games. And let us get started now. And that comes with news from the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they hold optimism that quarterback Ben Roethlisberger can play through what the team initially believed was a sprained AC joint in his right shoulder. Now, Roethlisberger told reporters Sunday that his shoulder was sore, and he termed himself day-to-day ahead of next Sunday's playoff game against the Denver Broncos. Roethlisberger said he was in, quote, a lot of pain on the Steelers' final drive Saturday night. He told coaches he could not take any deep shots in the end zone, having trouble passing farther than 10 yards. He didn't want to take any deep shots, just said, I can't. And they gave him some pain medicine, and obviously he was able to complete it thanks to Vontae Burfict and Adam Jones. Yeah. Bengals bingling. It's a new thing now. Marvin Lewis, 0-7. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Marshawn Lynch reportedly benched himself for the team's NFC Wildcard game Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings, according to Seattle Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll. Carroll was commenting for the first time on the latest twist in Lynch's injury saga, said Sunday that the running back opted not to play in the wildcard game because, quote, he just didn't feel like he had it. Now, Lynch underwent abdominal surgery November 25th and hasn't played since November 15th. And he decided Friday, after a full week of practice, he wasn't able to play, said Carroll. Now, Christian Michael did his thing. He rushed for a team-high 70 yards on 21 carries in the win over the Vikings. Another thing, Viking. I don't know. That was stupid. But Marshawn Lynch, it makes you wonder, where is he truly at? finally comes back to practice. You think he's good. You think he's ready to go, ready to get game time beast mode, and then no sign of him. No sign of him. Last bit of news before, actually we got 2 more news before we go to recapping some games. Rob Ryan, not Rex, but Rob Ryan, the former New Orleans Saints defense coordinator who was fired in November, will be joining the Bills as an assistant head coach for defense after Rex Ryan hired him on Sunday. So yes, he is joining his brother. They haven't worked on the same staff since 1995 when they were assistants for the Arizona Cardinals under their father, Buddy Ryan. Now, 2013, and just like any first year of Rob Ryan's defense, the Saints finished 4th in yards allowed and jumped 28 spots in the rankings. Now, this season, the defense ranked last in the NFL in both the yards allowed and points allowed before Ryan was fired in the team's 47-14 loss to the Washington team in Week 10. Just like that. And it's always like that. When he was with the Cowboys the first year, defense was one of the best. And then it drops off. Then he's fired. So you got to have, if you're a Bills fan, you got to feel great. You got to say, hey, we got both of the Ryans defensively. Oh, next year is going to be great defensively. You just got to hope that offense is there. And maybe we make a playoff run. But the year after that, 2017 season, don't expect too much from the defense. Expect it to be terrible if Rob Ryan is still on staff. Last bit of news, and it's really just to go read for your own enjoyment. There's a great article by Jason Reed on ESPN.com about Robert Griffin III and his last game in Washington. Ironically enough, I have a school project on in sports agency. I just took it for funds. And I was supposed to pick a player as an agent, of course, and he was going to be my client and why a team should sign him. This started 3 weeks ago. Now, obviously, there was hardly rumors that RG3 was last year in Washington anyways, but I said, you know what? I'm going to pick RG3, and I'm going to say why he should go to the Dallas Cowboys. And I hope it happens. I truly do. Even though I hate Baylor, Robert Griffin III is the only Baylor player, if I can speak, is the only one that I like. It's the only one that I like. So I hope he can go to Dallas or some team that he has a chance to start. Maybe Houston. That would be fun too. But yeah, great article. I put the link in the description down below, so please go check it out no matter where you're listening to. It's a great article. Now we will talk about the playoffs. Boy, were they fun. Now, they started off with probably the worst playoff game ever, and that was the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Houston Texans. And I told everybody that the Texans were terrible. They were terrible. They were just bad. They suck. And that the Chiefs, winners of 10 straight before that game, or 9 straight, were going to win that game. They were just going to dominate and win that game. Now, did I see a 30-0 victory? Absolutely not. But I did see a victory in the Chiefs, and it happened. They dominated 30-0. Alex Smith, he was okay. He wasn't great. 190 yards and a touchdown. Travis Kelce, 128 receiving yards, dominated that game. And, Chiefs get their first playoff win since 1994. Now, they had a video on NFL Network that showed the history of the Chiefs versus the playoffs. That's what it's called. Go check it out on YouTube. And it's interesting to see, what it was like for them in the playoffs, having to be so close and yet losing. Something was always happening for the Chiefs. They couldn't complete it. They couldn't complete a playoff victory. They couldn't get over the hump. And they finally did this year. They finally did, again, their first playoff win since 1994. So I tweeted, I was like, well, the Chiefs got over the playoff hump. Let's see if the Bengals can do it. So I'm thinking Bengals got this. I picked the Steelers, but I'm hoping the Bengals win. I'm hoping that my pick is wrong. Bengals are shut out the first 3 quarters. They are shut out. Thinking this game's over with. It's 15-0. Even though it's a somewhat two-score game, I didn't think it was going to be enough on them. Absolutely not. The Bengals score 16 in the fourth quarter, and they get some momentum going. They're down 18-16. They're up 16-15. And then Vontae Burfict looks like he is the guy. He saves the Bengals, and they finally get their first playoff victory for Marvin Lewis. He was 0-6 in this game, entering this game. And Vontae Burfict forces a fumble, recovers it, and he runs out of the stadium. He has a Bo Jackson moment. Bengals fans are going crazy. Steelers fans are like, all right, let's get out of here. Let's go home. It's over with. All they got to do is just, run the ball a few times, maybe get a first down, and, the game's over with. And we're all thinking, all right, Bengals got this. It's going to be Bengals at blank and blah, blah, blah. And then Jeremy Hill decides, I want to keep going. I want to make this entertaining. He fumbles the ball on the first carry. And Bengals fans are like, no. Let me run my eye. I'm not seeing things right. What's going on? Why is this happening? The Steelers recover. Steelers bring in I might have got this screwed up. Force a fumble. Anyway, Steelers get the ball back. Landry Jones throws a pick, and then fumble happens. Steelers come back, and Big Ben comes in. And the main thing that happens, they go down the field slowly and facing a third down. An amazing catch by one of the running backs from the Steelers. It was a 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 4, something like that. Big Ben rolls out to the right, dumps it off a little high, and the running back has to turn completely around and then catches it in his arms and it goes out of bounds. Just perfect awareness of catching the ball and then staying in bounds and then going back out to keep the drive going. And then Vontae Burfict hits Antonio Brown, helmet to helmet, shoulder to helmet, whatever it was, too high, and penalty. Then Adam Jones has a penalty because of apparently James Harrison, who played for both of these teams, is an assistant coach for the Steelers, goes out and is near the Bengals players, I guess, talking smack, talking to something, and then Adam Jones gets a flag. Now James Harrison, he's getting a fine as well as all these other players, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter because it sets them up for a field goal, and the Pittsburgh Steelers win the game 18-16. We saw a total collapse of a team in just a few plays. In just a few plays, we see probably the biggest collapse in football, in National Football League history. I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen a team just absolutely, in the biggest game for the Bengals, they had the victory. Now you can blame it on Jeremy Hill that, if he never fumbled, none of this would have never would have happened. Maybe. But because of those plays, it all collapsed. It sucks. I wanted the Bengals to win too, but I just had a feeling that the Steelers are going to win, and that's what happened. So if that wasn't enough drama to end the night and enter us back into the NFC playoffs now this time for Sunday, we were right back where we left off. Now, in the second coldest game in National Football, or not, is it the second coldest or the third coldest game in National Football League history? We have Seattle Seahawks taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Boy, was this a game. Again, Seattle is the team that shut out in the first 3 quarters as Minnesota scores 3 field goals. Make it 9-0 entering the fourth quarter. Then, Seahawks score a touchdown. It's 7-9. We're like, okay, now we got a game. Let's get it. Now we got a game. Let's see how this offense can do. Teddy Bridgewater, 146 yards. Kristen Michael, again, with Marshawn Lynch out, rushed for 70 yards. Doug Baldwin had amazing one-handed catch. And also, I forgot to talk about Martavis Bryant's touchdown catch. By far better than Odell Beckham's. By far. Any of Odell Beckham's, not even close to what Martavis Bryant had. I know for all the young hipsters, they're going to want to say that Odell Beckham was the best catch, blah, blah, blah. No, not even close. What Martavis Bryant did to hold on to that ball without it even moving, that's a beautiful touchdown catch. The best one, too. But yeah, back to the Seahawks game. Doug Baldwin has a one-handed catch. Pretty awesome. 5 receptions, 42 yards and a touchdown. And then the Seahawks get a field goal, We got a 10-9 game. And it leads all the way down to the last drive, and Minnesota is driving. It's like, well, there it is. Seahawks gave it up, and the Seahawks are going to be out of the playoffs in the first round. They just couldn't do it, this and that. It was a great game. Both teams played hard in this terrible weather. Blah, 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 blah. But no. Walsh misses the field goal. A 27-yard field goal, a chip shot. And just like that, done. He misses it wide left. I mean, it wasn't close. It just looked like my golf shot. Just missed it terribly. And now there was something about in the cold weather, you have to have the laces towards you. Usually because we always see in a normal game, in controlled climate or a just non-freezing game, the laces are always out. They face the direction you want the ball to go. Somewhat, something like that. But in this game, there was something about where, I don't know if it was the weather or what it was, but they said that they needed to kick the ball with the laces towards the kicker. So that, facing his way. So that way it got the ball up, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Somewhere around, along those lines. And it finally bit them. They lose it in a chip shot kick. Seahawks stay alive. They go to Carolina, which is going to be a great game, by the way. So, it's not like we're missing a great game. But you got to feel for the Minnesota Vikings. You have to feel for them because it's like they had this victory. They did everything right to get down there. They did their job. No timeouts remaining for either teams. They did their job. All they had to do was make that field goal. Game over. Minnesota goes on to, go to Arizona, and then Green Bay would go to Carolina, which that would have been a great game too, a rematch. But Seahawks win, stay alive. I love it. And finally, the last game, while it started off weird but strong for Washington, just kind of collapsed. Green Bay scored 17 points in the second quarter. Then 7 in the third and 11 points in the fourth, which very weird game. Missed extra points all over the place. Kirk Cousins, I don't think he likes it. I don't think he does. Did all right. 329 yards. Touchdown. Eddie Lacy, 12 carries, 63 yards, and a touchdown. Jordan Reed for Washington is the next tight end, I guess. I guess he truly is because he dominated second half of the year. And we always knew he had potential, that he could be really good. But this year, he really showed it. Probably might get a contract extension too, depending on what happens with Kirk Cousins. But he had 9 receptions, 120 yards, and a touchdown. And it looked like, honestly, in the first half, that I really thought Washington was going to be able to compete and win this game. I know 17-11 at halftime, but I was like, you know what? I'm not counting out Washington. I think they might have it. The fans are there. Deshaun Jackson's riled up in a somewhat good way. Thinking Washington might be able to pull this off. I thought second half defense for the Packers was going to collapse. Instead, they'd only give up 7 points and obviously win this game. So that leads us to what is going to happen. What are we going to see? Well, since you asked, just a quick look at, and then we'll preview these games on Friday. The Kansas City Chiefs will take on the New England Patriots. 3:35 p.m. Central Time on Saturday in Foxborough. Now, again, we are 6 days away, depending on when you're listening to. But temperature right now is looking at 41 degrees and rainy. Or snowy. Probably snowy. Going to be an interesting game to watch. New England is a 5-point favorite right now. This game is going to be on CBS. Then that night, Saturday night, probably the best game. It's 7:15 Central Time. The Green Bay Packers and the Arizona Cardinals. A rematch of the playoffs. We've seen this many times, and we saw a rematch earlier this season of this game. It's going to be fun to watch. Arizona is a 7.5-point favorite. Packers, Cardinals in Arizona. Oh, man, these games are always fun to watch. I still remember the overtime game that we had back in, I believe it was in the playoffs. Yeah, it was in the playoffs, divisional playoffs, I believe. And Arizona wins the game after strip, fumble, sack, all that other good stuff. Might see it again. Because the Cardinals dominated the Packers in the regular season, didn't they? So, it's going to be good. That game will be on NBC. And then on Sunday, we have the Seattle Seahawks on the road in Carolina to take on the 15-1 Panthers, who are 8-0 at home at 12:05 p.m. Central Time. Carolina is a 3-point favorite, and hopefully this game stays where it's at. Projected at 48 degrees, somewhat sunny, a little bit of clouds here and there, partially cloudy, and a 48-degree temperature. It should be a solid game and a much better game for the Seahawks temperature-wise than Minnesota was. This game will be on Fox. And then to wrap it up, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Denver Broncos, 3:40 p.m. Central Time on CBS. 38 degrees and partially cloudy as well for that game. Denver is a 6.5-point favorite. We will do all our previews come Friday, but man, we got a list of games to watch as college football wraps up tonight, which I did do a college football playoff national championship preview. That is up on Spreaker and iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher Radio, everywhere. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at @short_sports 24/7. Become a fan on Facebook, The Short Sports Show. All links are in the description down below. And thank you guys so much for listening. I will see you guys this Friday as it's going to be crazy. It's going to be sad. College football season's over with. But we still got the NFL playoffs, and we're going to go all in. Thank you guys so much for listening. As always, God first, God bless. And I will see you Friday morning. I'm out. Peace.
Forever. I'ma do this here forever. Forever. I'ma do this here forever. Forever. I'ma do this here forever. Forever. I'ma do this here forever.
I done came way too far for me to stop it now. I done worked way too hard just to drop it now. We came sorry.